Hello everyone, welcome to this session on slope deflection method. And this is a particular beam wherein one side there will be an overhang. And what will be the solution that we need to yield up by using slope deflection method? Now to begin with, let's have a glance about the statement of the problem and the diagram that we usually come across. Now here in this particular problem, it is analyzed continuous beam shown in figure by slope deflection method. Draw bending moment diagram and shear force diagram. Now the given statement of the problem has a diagram which is already been given, and with the help of this particular diagram we are going to supposed to solve by a method called as slope deflection method. So this is what is the method that we are going to solve. We are going to make use to solve the unknown, that is the indeterminate structure, by slope deflection method. Now in this problem, this is a continuous beam. This is one end a support A, this is support B, support C and support D. Now if you happen to observe this particular structure, you have a support at A, and type of support at A is fixed. Likewise, you also have a support at B, which is sandwiched in between A and C, and we classify it as an intermediate support. Likewise, C is an end support, so we call it as end support, and type of end support is simply supported. Now what the thing that should flash in mind is, wherever we have a fixed end at that particular location, slope has to be 0. Now since A is fixed, so theta A will be 0. Since A is fixed, so theta A will be 0. Whereas B and C are simply supported, so theta B and theta C will remain as it is. So this is what we are supposed to find out, theta B and theta C. Reason for having this theta B and theta C as it is because both are simply supported condition. It doesn't have any moment. As it is fixed, it will be having three reaction component: vertical, horizontal and then the moment. Because of this particular moment that has been present, that is because of present of MA, theta A will be 0. Since it is simply supported, moment will not be present, so theta B will come into picture. Likewise, C is also simply supported, theta C will also come into picture. Now as I require theta B and theta C, equilibrium equation that should come in mind is summation MB will be 0 and summation MC will be equated to 0. And member connected at BR, on the left hand side it will be BA and on the right hand side it will be BC. Similarly, member connected at C will be CB and CD. So these are nothing but the equations of equilibrium and the member connected to the individual joint. Now to start with the first step, there are few steps that we are supposed to start with. So first step is to find out fixed end moment. First step is to find out fixed end moment. Second step is to find out slope deflection equation. Next is to find out equilibrium equation. After equilibrium equation, we are supposed to look at the equilibrium equation and then find out what are nothing but the unknowns. Here the unknown will be theta B and theta C. Once we get this theta B and theta C, we are going to substitute back in slope deflection equation. Then what we will be getting is nothing but the final moment. From final moment, we are going to draw bending moment diagram and shear force diagram. So these are nothing but the specific types of steps that will be involved. Now to start with the fixed end moment. Whenever I start with the fixed end moment, the thing that should be kept in mind is wherever you have a support, all those supports are to be considered as fixed, irrespective what may be the type of support it is, whether it is simply supported, whether it is roller support, hinge support, or whatever may be the type of support it is, it has to be considered as fixed for the calculation of fixed end moment. Later, that fixity will be released during the process of equilibrium equation. Now to start with here, you have support A and you have support B. So you will be considering A to be fixed and B to be fixed. A and B both are fixed and it has been subjected to a point load. And the magnitude of point load is 8 kilonewton. Now what will happen here is 8 kilonewton is placed on the top fiber. If I hold A, then release support B, 8 kilonewton will try to rotate in clockwise direction. As a resultant, A will offer a rotation in the anti-clockwise direction. Likewise, if I hold B and release the second support A will rotate in anti-clockwise direction, B will rotate in clockwise direction. And rotation in anti-clockwise shall be considered as negative, and rotation in clockwise direction shall be considered as positive. And formula when it is not been placed at the center, it is W A B square divided by L square on the left hand side. On the right hand side, this is W A square B divided by L square. So making use of the same equation here, this is what is the equation. Both ends are considered fixed. This is 8 kilonewton. A is the first distance here. A is the first distance, which is 1.5. B is the second distance, which is 2.5. If you substitute here, minus WAB square divided by L square, minus of 8 into 1.5 into 2.5 square divided by 4 square. And if you solve this, you will be getting the value as minus 4.6875. Likewise, if you consider MFBA, that is, you have calculated from A to B. Since it is anti-clockwise, you consider it as negative. Now, when you are considering from B to A, the direction of rotation is in clockwise direction. Direction of rotation clockwise means positive. Magnitude of the load is 8. And A, it is WA square B. A here is 1.5 square. B is 2.5 divided by 4 square. And this will lead to the solution as 2.8125. So this is what is the value of MFBA. Now again, I recall why it should be negative, because since it is anti-clockwise, it's negative, since this is clockwise, this is positive. Same condition prevails even for the second case, which is B to C. When I consider from B to C, here B is fixed, C is fixed. Again, if we consider the support here, UDL is on the top fiber. If we hold up BA and release C, it will rotate in clockwise direction. And B will offer rotation in the anti-clockwise direction. And anti-clockwise is negative, so it is minus WL square divided by 12. So magnitude of the load is 3. L is 4 square divided by 12. So this is minus 4 kilonewton meter. Likewise, if you hold up C and release B, it will rotate in anti-clockwise direction. Direction of rotation will be clockwise, so it is positive. 3 into 4 square divided by 12. And we will be getting plus 4 kilonewton meter. So these are the fixed steps of formulas that will be arriving. And next, once you consider from A to B, B to C. Now, care needs to be taken for the span C to D, because D doesn't have any support, only C has a support. In that situation, diagram will be represented here like this. C will have a support which will be considered as fixed for the calculation of fixed end moment, whereas D will remain as free because in the diagram there is no support here. D will remain as free end. So if you start solving here, 16 kilonewton load is on the top fiber, which will rotate in clockwise direction. C will offer rotation in the anti-clockwise direction. Anti-clockwise is negative, minus 16, and magnitude of the moment will be force into perpendicular distance. With reference to C, 16 kilonewton load is placed at a distance of 1 meter from point C. So which indicates force magnitude is 16. Distance is 1 meter, so 16 into 1. So minus, because it is in the anti-clockwise direction, so this is what is the direction of rotation. Again I repeat, care needs to be taken for C to D because only support is provided at C and D is free end. So you are not going to provide any support at D. Now if you happen to observe AB span and CD span, AB span is indeterminate structure because both ends are fixed. It is indeterminate structure. Here there will be 3 reaction component, here there will be 3 reaction component. Total number of reactions are 6, whereas equations of equilibrium are 3. So number of unknowns are greater than the number of equations of equilibrium. So which indicates it is indeterminate structure. AB is an indeterminate structure. Likewise, BC is also an indeterminate structure because B is fixed, C is fixed. So 3 reaction at B, 3 reaction at C. Total number of reactions are 6. Equations of equilibrium are 3. So total number of unknowns shall come at as 3. So these are nothing but the number of unknowns that will make AB and BC to be an indeterminate structure. Same situation will not arise for CD because at C it is fixed support, 3 reaction, whereas D is free, so 0 reaction component. Number of reactions are 3, equations of equilibrium are 3. degree of static indeterminacy is 0. What it concludes? CD is a determinate structure, and whenever it is determinate structure, I am not going to apply any slope deflection equation. Slope deflection equation will be applied only for the indeterminate structure. Slope deflection equation will be applied only for the indeterminate structure, which means slope deflection will be applied. Slope deflection equation will be applied for AB, BA, BC, CB. Whereas for CD, whatever is the fixed end moment, that itself will be the final moment. Whatever is the fixed end moment, that itself will be the final moment because of the determinate structure. So applying the second step, which is slope deflection equation. Now what we have completed here is the fixed end moment. Next is slope deflection equation. So if I start with slope deflection equation, MAB is equal to MFAB plus 2EI divided by L, 2 theta A plus theta B, 3 delta divided by LAB. So whatever is the alphabet you are going to write on the left hand side, same alphabet should come in the same order. That is, if you write AB on the left hand side, right hand side also A should come as the first alphabet and B will be the second alphabet. So MFAB value, what has been calculated just before, is minus 4.6875. So MFAB is minus 4.6875. To EI value, I value is 1. So it shall be kept as it is, 2EI. Span is 1.5 plus 2.5 will be 4 meter. So this will be divided by 4. 2 theta A. Theta A will be 0. Why? Because it is fixed end. Theta A will be 0. Theta B kept as it is. Now coming on to the delta term. Delta term will be either related to A or related to B. Now neither of the support is sinking. So delta A will be 0, delta B will be 0. Ultimately, this last term will yield a 0 value. So this is what is the 0 value that we are going to rewrite here. Reframing the equation here, 2 by 4 will be 0.5 EI theta B minus 4.6875 kept as it is. So this is MAB equation number 1. Likewise, MFBA plus 2EI divided by LBA, 2 theta B plus theta A minus 3 delta divided by LBA. Here BA has been written, so which indicates B should come as the first alphabet, A will be the second alphabet. And likewise, on the right hand side will be also be theta B and theta A, MFBA. So this will be the form of the equation that we are going to get. MFBA value that we had calculated here was 2.8125. So 2.8125 plus 2 EI divided by 4, EI value is 1, so kept as it is. 2 theta B, theta A value is 0 because it is fixed. Now delta here will be again, it is related to A and B. None of the support is sinking, so delta value will be considered as 0. Rearranging this equation, 2 into 2 will become 4. 4 by 4 will be 1 EI theta B plus 2.8125. So this is equation 2. Similar situation will arise for BC. As AB and BC are both indeterminate, AB and BC are both indeterminate, you are going to apply slope deflection equation for AB and BC. So for a BC, when we write here, if I write BC here, the thing that should flash in your mind here is, on the right hand side should also be BC. If I write MBC here, on the right hand side it should be MFBC plus 2EI divided by LBC, 2 theta B, theta C minus 3 delta divided by LBC. MFBC value, what was calculated was 4. MFBC value was minus 4. So substitute here as minus 4 plus 2 into 1.5. Why 1.5 EI here is? Because if you look at this particular diagram, I value is 1.5. So in earlier I value is 1. So you took it as it is. Now here I value is 1.5. So this is 2 into 1.5 EI divided by 4. 2 theta B and theta C. Here none of the slope will be 0 because neither support B is fixed, neither support C is fixed. So both shall be kept as it is. So for that reason, theta B and theta C shall be kept as it is. Last part is deflection related to B and deflection related to C. So here neither of the support is sinking. So delta B and delta C both shall be considered as 0. Substitute the value. 2 into 1.5 will be 3. 3 by 4 will be 0.75 EI theta C. That is, when it goes within the bracket, it will be 0.75. 2 into 1.5, 3. 3 into 2 will be 6. So this is 1.5 EI theta B minus of 4. So these are nothing but the equation that you are going to calculate once you get this particular value of theta B and theta C. That is, this is from equation 1 to 3. Next, further moving from BC, we shall move to CB. If you move to CB, if I write left hand side CB, right hand side will be again CB. MCB is equal to MFCB, 2EI divided by LCB, 2 theta C plus theta B minus 3 delta divided by LCB. MFCB value will be plus 4. So plus 4, 2 into 1.5 divided by 4. 2 theta C plus theta B, next part is 0. If you rearrange this equation, 2 into 1.5 will be 3, 3 into 2 will come out as 6, 6 divided by 4 will come as theta C here. This is first term is theta C, so we shall come as 1.5. Likewise, 2 into 1.5 will be 3, 3 by 4 will be 0.75 EI theta B. Then this plus 4 shall be kept as it is. This is equation number 4. Now proceeding further for MCD. Now MCD here is a determinate structure. MCB is a determinate structure because one end is fixed, other end is free, which is as good as a cantilever beam. One end is fixed, other end is free, so which is a determinate structure. Now determinate structure, I am not going to use any equations of equilibrium. So any slope deflection equation. So when I write this slope deflection equation, I will not be applying for determinate structure. That is, MCD is equal to MFCD, which will be minus 16. So MDC will be equated to 0. So these are nothing but the equations. Why MDC is 0? Because it is free end of cantilever beam. So this is free end of cantilever beam. Once we get this particular solution for all this particular part, that is second step. What we have completed so far is the second step, that is slope deflection equation. Next is equilibrium equation. Now at the start of the analysis itself, we had noted that which will be the equilibrium equation. Now as we are supposed to find out theta B and theta C, equilibrium equation will be summation MB is equal to 0 and summation MC is equal to 0. And at B, BA and BC will be the member that will be connected. So at B, MBA plus MBC is equal to 0, which will be equation 2 plus equation 3 will be equal to 0. Now if we look back at equation 2, here it is. Equation 2, MBA is equation 2. MBC is equation 3. Both adding together, it will be summation MB is equal to 0. So rearrange this, EI theta B plus 1.5 EI theta B. Total it will be 2.5 EI theta B. Next 0.75 EI theta C kept as it. 2.8125 minus 4, which will come on the left hand side as 2.8125 minus 4, which will come as minus 1.875 on the left hand side. If you take it on the right hand side, it will be plus 1.1875. This is equation 7, which will be used for the simultaneous equation. Likewise, summation MC is equal to 0. When you take summation MC is equal to 0, MCB plus MCD is equal to 0. Equation 4 plus equation 5 is equal to 0. 0.75 EI theta B, which is equation 4. Which is equation 4, here it is, MCB, 0.75 EI theta B plus 1.5 EI theta C plus 4. Here, this is equation 4. Next, this is 5, which is nothing but MCD is equal to MFCD because it is for cantilever beam. So minus 16 is equal to 0. 0.75 EI theta B plus 1.5 EI theta C, 4 minus 16 will be minus 12, that is equal to 0. Rearranging, 12 will be taken on towards the right hand side. Now this will form simultaneous equation wherein there will be two unknowns, theta B and theta C. If you take the equation here, two unknowns, first coefficient here is 2.5, second is 0.75, third is 1.1875 here. Next is A2. which is 0.75. Next is 1.5. Then last part is 12. So what you get is 2.26 EI theta B, because EI theta B is first, so it shall be considered as X. So this shall be considered as Y. So EI theta B is 2.26 and EI theta C is 9.13. So once you get this particular value, substitute in slope deflection equation. That is equation 1 to equation 4. If you substitute in equation 1 to equation 4, you will be getting this particular value of MAB. For example, if you consider any of the equation here, MAB equation here, MAB is 0.5 EI theta B. So 0.5 into theta B value that was calculated was 2.26. So into minus 2.26. Then minus 4.6875. So what you get is 5.82, like this. Likewise, if you take MBA is second equation, and theta B is minus 2.26. So minus 2.26 plus 2.28125, which will come as 0.55. So this is 0.55. Likewise, MBC will be minus 0.55. Here it is, MBC equation. If you consider this, 1.5 into EI theta B is minus 2.26. EI theta B is minus 2.26 plus 0.75 into EI theta C is 9.13 into 9.13. Next minus 4. So which will come as 0.55. So same way. Next is MCB. If you consider MCB's equation is here, 0.75 into minus 2.26, which is first equation, then plus 1.5 EI theta C value is 9.13 into 9.13 plus 4, and which value will come as 16. So this is what is the value of 16. So one thing that should come in your mind is, if it is minus 16 on the right hand side here, if it is minus 16 here, to balance this on the left hand side it should be plus 16. So that's why you are going to get it here as plus 16 minus 16. Net moment at C is 0. Plus 0.5 minus 0.5, net moment at B will be 0. So these are nothing but the final values of the moment at B and C. So as it is negative here, direction of rotation will be, anti-clockwise. Here this is positive, direction of rotation is clockwise. Negative, direction of rotation is anti-clockwise. Plus 16 means clockwise, minus 16 means anti-clockwise. So all these particular movements will create hogging, because if you try to push it, it will move in the upward direction. So movement in the upward direction is hogging. So if you take this and if you try to push it, this will have an anti-clockwise movement, clockwise movement. If you try to push it, it will hog. So hogging is negative. So all these movements shall come as negative. On the other hand, you have a point load which will create sagging, so which is positive here. Similarly, UDL will also create sagging, so which is positive. So these are nothing but the bending moment diagram. Now coming on to the shear force diagram. So first line will be reaction due to load. And this reaction due to load is due to point load. Here it is point load, here it is UDL. So when you consider this reaction due to load here, reaction here will be WB by L. W value what we have. W value what we have is 8. 8 into 2.5 divided by 4, which will be 5. Here it is 5, and 8 minus 5 will be 3. So this is what is the value that we are going to get here. Likewise, if we take this as anti-clockwise, minus 5.82 plus 0.55. So net value is 5.27. Divided by this span divided by 4. So which is 1.32, 1.32. So here. Likewise, this is WB by L, so this has to be WA by L. Now here it is reaction due to UDL. Since it is symmetrically placed, it is WL by 2, WL by 2. Unit magnitude of the UDL is 3. 3 into 4 will be 12. Divided by 2 will be 6 and 6 on the either side. Magnitude of the moment, if you check back here it is 0.55. What direction it is? Anti-clockwise. 16 is in clockwise. So if you check it here, 0.55 plus 16, 15.45. So 15.45 divided by span 4 meter. This is span. Whatever you have in the denominator is span. 15.45 divided by 4, which will come as 3.86. So 6 minus 3.86 is 2.14. Because why minus? Because it is downward, so negative. Here 6 plus 3.86, why plus? Because it is upward, 9.86. Similarly here 5, as it is upward, positive. 5 plus 1.32, 6.32. 3 minus 1.32, 1.66. So these are nothing but the shear force value. So this is left hand side upward force is positive, right hand side upward force is negative. Left hand side upward force positive, right hand side upward force is negative. Similarly, this is left hand side upward force is positive. So 6.32 will be marked above, which is positive. 1.68 will be marked below because it is right hand side upward force negative, downward. Then 2.14 left hand side upward positive, 9.86 right hand side upward negative, so downward 9.86. Here left hand side upward positive, that is 16. Why this 16 comes into picture? Because it's a cantilever beam. 16 kilonewton is the load here. It's a cantilever beam. 16 kilonewton is the load here. If you have 16, so vertical reaction shall be 16. So that vertical reaction itself will be the reaction component. So 16 will be marked above. 16 will be continued. So plus 16, you already have a force here. Plus 16, force here is downward. Plus 16 minus 16 will be 0. So this is what is shear force diagram. And this is how we are supposed to solve for overhang beams, and especially when it is indeterminate structure. Care needs to be taken. Wherever there is a support, we need to apply a support. For example, B have a support, C have a support. D doesn't have a support, so we not have to put any support at point D. As a resultant, CD will be considered as a determinate structure. If CD is determinate structure, then slope deflection equation shall not be written for CD portion, whereas it will be written for AB, BA, BC and CB. Thank you. Have a nice day.